Hi, so this is Stacy from Butterfly Bake Shop, and we're here at Élan Artists for Facebook Live. We're going to learn some information on how to plan entertainment for your wedding, so it's amazing and perfect, and they're the experts at this. So welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourselves, and introduce yourselves, and tell us about Élan Artists.
Great. Hi, I'm Lisa with Élan Artists.
I'm Carrie, the business director of Élan Artists. Élan Artists is a cooperative of musicians, live performers, anything from a videographer, photographer to live entertainment or DJ style entertainment. Been around for upwards of 15 years, and welcome to our headquarters here in New York City.
Yeah, great. You can see that we're here with the Élan Artist sign in the background, and we're looking forward to speaking with you about what makes an amazing wedding, because everyone knows that the entertainment really drives what happens at your wedding. You know, if you don't have the right entertainment, it can really make or break your event. So first of all, why don't you tell us what makes Élan Artists so successful? What do you think that key ingredient is? I mean, you've been around for 15 years, so.
What I really love about the company and what Élan Artists does, and I think where it sort of found this very special space in the luxury events industry, is that there's a level of customization to the talent that we have and love and care that's put into it when we're partnering with planners or partnering with couples. We do sincerely take the time to figure out what's going to be the perfect fit for their event. Whether it is, like we mentioned, a 18-piece variety band or a 4-piece super elegant, subtle jazz quartet. We do take the time to speak with our clients, to spend some face-to-face time with them if needed. I think that's where people started seeing that stand out in the service aspect of it. And people were leaving their events being so unbelievably excited that what they ended up with was a true reflection of them as a couple.
So it's not just, a band that comes in and plays the typical covers songs that everybody hears at every wedding. They really customize to what the couple is trying to get and the vibe they're trying to receive.
Right. It starts from the initial contact with our offices, with people like Lisa or Gabriella on our team or Gretchen. What's wonderful is that we'll start there and start curating that, and then when the confirmation does happen and they're like, I know I'm going to go with this aspect of entertainment, our band leaders are so knowledgeable, our DJs are so knowledgeable, that handoff happens and they're talking every step of the way, all the way up to the wedding day. It could be a year and a half out, it could be 6 months out, and I think that's why they feel so taken care of.
Right, and it's reflected in the event, because I have been to Élan Artist events. So tell me, what's the best way for someone to really look for entertainment? Like, how do people find you when they are looking? Because this is live and it's all over the country. Do you travel all over the country? Or?
Sure, yeah. So we are a national company. We have offices in DC, LA. Here in New York is obviously our flagship. We also have a band out of Florida and Minnesota. So we will really go anywhere and go the extra mile for the client. Obviously, budgets come into play when you're sending people around the world, really. But we absolutely cater to many, many demographics. I think what's also kind of how people find us is obviously doing wonderful things like this. But also we host live showcases several times a month. This month, actually on Sunday, we'll be at the Martha Stewart party. So we love just grabbing the attention of regular New York City brides, or whether they're coming in from New Jersey or Connecticut, wherever. So that's a great opportunity for us. Thanks, Claudia. And also, they come to our offices for showcases, so we host them here. The other side of our office, which maybe you'll see, I don't know, is actually a sound stage. So we have a whole stage set up just like it would look at the wedding or at the event. We also have an in-house sound engineers, and sound mixing board back there, so it's completely just like it would be. So we definitely give couples a great opportunity to check them out in action.
Right, and that's I'm sure a big question that a lot of people ask. You can't. You just book a band, you hope for the best. No, it's really great to see the band and see the entertainment so you can see if they fit into what your vision is.
And what's really interesting we've started to notice in these past few years is that our clients are really coming to us via word of mouth and via our relationships with other people in the industry, whether it's a planner, whether it's butterfly whether it's a caterer that we had worked with or a venue, and that word of mouth sort of referral aspect of it is really kind of speaks to the fact that we are such a luxury company. We're not blasting things all over the internet. I do think that there's a subtlety about the way we do things and an elegance that we take a lot of pride in. And when people come to us via that word of mouth, there's innately a wonderful creative sort of trusting partnership that it starts at. And as Lisa mentioned, when people are finding us that way, they are realizing too, and we do encourage, as you mentioned, clients, planners, anyone in the industry coming and watching our bands live at the studio that we have here. So.
Right. Now, is there one particular style that's the best style for a wedding, or is it anything goes? I mean, how does that work?
Lately, I think a lot of people are getting more creative with the music that they want for their wedding, because it's definitely a reflection of you, but at the same time, you also want to please your guests. So you're putting on a show, a party for these people that are your guests. So I think that the venue definitely comes into play when you're thinking about a style. A cookie cutter band isn't going to work for every single couple or every single venue or every single wedding. So we like to really talk to the client about how they see their vision coming to life, what music is important to them, because a 22-year-old bride doesn't necessarily have the same preferences as a more mature bride. So we like to take all of that into consideration when we're pairing them with a band. So whether it's something more low-key and elegant, that's more of like a vibey situation at someplace like Gramercy Park Hotel, I wouldn't necessarily pick the same ensemble for the Plaza, or, so we like to really think about, because we know them all, we know all the groups, and we know that they can always, put on a great party, but we want to make sure it's really special and really customized to what the couple wants and what the venue calls for, what the theme of the night is going to call for.
And I think that that's interesting. There are a few points when people are considering what entertainment is going to be the best fit for them. I think it's their vision. As Lisa mentioned, maybe they're wanting something a lot quieter, and a majority of the flow of the evening is going to be about the dining experience with minimal dancing later. At the same time, we have clients whose visions say, you know what, I want up and down dancing, party, party, party. We're hoping to go till 3 in the morning. And that's going to be a different type of ensemble or sort of combination of a variety of entertainment. So the vision is one, budget is another. We do work and are very flexible with a variety of budgets. If someone has a lower budget but they do want to incorporate live music, well, maybe we do a smaller jazz quartet that segues into a super hip, lively DJ. If they have that bigger budget and a bigger space and a greater guest count, then perhaps we go with that 18-piece, 22-piece band that's a bit more showy. I don't think there's an exact answer to it, and that's why I love this, is because we get to talk about that with our clients and land at a place where we know that they're very happy and that we help them get there.
Right. So, and it's funny because you said at the beginning that you're a cooperative. So I guess that you have a lot of access to different people as part of and you know those bands really well. So like you said, you can match the right band with the couple. That's what I'm assuming that means.
Exactly.
So.
And we love to work together, and our knowledge of the entertainment that's out there, and the type of people that we pull together for our clients to create a unique experience, that's where that cooperative word comes into play, because we're extremely supportive of people's visions. We're extremely supportive of making sure that, it's almost like entertainment dating. I'm going to set you up on a date for that evening or wedding night with this band because I think you guys are going to be a lovely fit. You'll get along, and it's not just about the night, it's the process leading up to it as well.
Sure.
Or how much curation do you want with the music? does the couple want to have a bit more say in it? We love when they do. And that's about pairing them with a band that has that versatility and the skill set to do that.
Right. So it's interesting. So you were talking earlier about small bands, big bands. What is the smallest? What is the biggest? What's the right? How do you determine what that is?
So we'll do anything from a solo harp, to bagpipes, to really any kind of ensemble. But obviously guest count. When you have a big guest count, you want to make sure that the band is going to keep everybody up and dancing. So I think that's one thing. And also, a lot of times with my brides, I like to work backwards from the music that they want. So if they tell me, they want Pachelbel Canon in D for their ceremony, but they don't want a string ensemble, they want like an electric guitar, I would be like, I don't think we should do that.
Right.
I think a string quartet or a string trio would be more of an appropriate ensemble for the music that you're envisioning, because I don't want them to, not get something that they were expecting, especially the brides.
Right.
If they're expecting something, you better give it to them.
Right. They have an expectation, and you want to make sure you meet it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think what's really fun in terms of like playing off of what Lisa said is that we do get creative with the way we can achieve a particular sound. If they want that sort of popping live element, but potentially they don't want the 12-piece band, you can have a DJ, you can add some horns to do a variety of like moments throughout the night, add a percussionist into there, an electric violin, working with a very different kind of budget. At the same time, we have individual violinists, Élan, where she works with a looping pedal, and that looping pedal will then be able to allow her to stack the sound and achieve that of a string trio or a larger ensemble as one individual. And then, we have huge bands as well, in the sense that, when someone wants that 22-piece big band style, 6 horns, 6 violins, 5 vocalists, rhythm section, percussionists, we do have that as well. And it's all about pulling those pieces, and it also, as Lisa said, working backwards, depends on the kind of music it is. If you're having a lot of Motown, you're going to want a nice brass section.
Right.
If you are doing a lot more country, perhaps, you want that fiddler, violinist in there, and you are also going to want a sucking guitarist, an acoustic guitarist. And so our knowledge in terms of curating that for clients is what we bring to the table to make sure that it literally locks into the evening perfectly.
Okay, great. So one of the things that people always comment on when they talk about music at a wedding, besides the energy and the dancing and that type of thing, and we'll get to that in a minute, but what about sound? Like, a lot of times you have people that say, oh my gosh, I couldn't hear the person next to me, it was so loud. What's your feeling, and how do you deal with that?
Well, what I really love about working with Élan artists and being here is that when I first became a part of this company, and Lisa saw it too, we have in-house sound engineers. We have an in-house sound team. That being said, we also understand where our clients are coming from. We have an innate understanding after being a part of and helping assist the talent at hundreds and hundreds of weddings. When you're eating dinner, you want to be able to have a connected conversation with the person next to you. You don't want to be leaning and going, huh? What, and we understand that. And I know that that's a common concern, and we don't deny that. And so we have worked with our in-house sound engineers and team to understand that when there's not dancing happening, it's elegant background music. And so the volume levels go down. What we often do with the equipment that we have is, aside from the front PA system, because at weddings, there are going to be guests that are close to that system up front, right? But you don't want to put the system loud so that people at the back can hear it. So what we do is we create fills, side fills in the room, meaning smaller speakers that are placed further throughout the space, so that we can take all of the volume down and be able to allow guests to not only hear the music at low levels, but to hear the speeches evenly distributed throughout the room. And so, after years and years of doing this, where the creative director and owner of the company, Josh, who comes from a musical background, and understands what that means sonically to guests and how that really plays into how much they're going to enjoy the music in the evening.
Right.
So we're hypersensitive and aware of that,
Yeah,
just as much as our clients are.
Right, and I bet it helps too that you've been to a lot of different venues in New York area especially, but all over, and that you're familiar with the venues, so you know how the sound bounces and how that kind of thing.
Right, and typically we'll even visit the venue prior to the event date, either just with the venue or with the planner or with the bride, to see where those things would be placed actually, and does it make sense with the floor plan of the room as it exists for this party.
So now Amanda sent in a question, and she wants to know what type of venue would you recommend a live band versus like compared to a DJ? Is there some rule of thumb, or is it really just based on?
I think that when it comes, it's a good question because, you know, the sound system, what we just talked about, and the technical aspect of it, it actually, for me, it doesn't make that much of a difference. It's about what the clients want. Some clients are set on a DJ because they want the music to sound a very specific way or as true to the original music as possible. And some clients are set on having the presence of a live band. Now, because the company is so versed at the variety of venues, or we are visiting it with the couples, with the sound engineer, we're able to work with most any environment. We've had a DJ at Brooklyn Museum in their 3-story Egyptian hall.
Oh my goodness.
We've also had a 16-piece band there, and we're able to manage the sound either way. So I think for us, it's not necessarily that there's a venue that's better for a live band or not, because our sound teams are so phenomenal at managing how to work with each space, customizing the sound.
Sure, yeah.
And maybe more of a challenge because of the physical space, but we love that.
Right.
Let's figure it out. You know?
Right. So now Heidi sent in a question. She wants to know how many events do you have in a day? So I guess depending on how many bands you have, you can really.
So we have, wow, our bands, we're not only nationally based, but our bands are also working in Europe, in Bali, you know, Carte Blanche was in Kuwait at one point. So there's a lot of international events happening as well. But we don't just specialize in weddings, we do luxury social events as well, galas. So we've got midweek events happening, but I would say that, you know, even between the months in New York, between the months of April to post New Year, we're having at least nationally in the company, maybe 20 to 30 events every Saturday, every Sunday, with multiple ones sprinkled out throughout the week. So. Hundreds and hundreds all year.
Yeah, and I, because we're in the office here and people can't see, but you know, you have a team of people that are managing that. Because while I was setting up, I was listening to people talking about, listen, I have to book airline tickets, and that, so there's a lot of management behind the scenes that couples may not, you know, understand or be aware of, because they just think, oh, I'm talking to the guy in the band.
Right.
So yeah.
I think that's the added value, is that we do have production managers who go onto the events and work with the clients to ensure everything goes smoothly. We do have sound management teams, logistic in terms of travel and anything. That's why our bands are able to go from New York to perform in New Orleans or to perform in Nashville, or how our LA bands are coming in performing in Hudson Valley. So
right.
it's fun.
Yeah, and I have to just put in my own 2 cents. I don't really know that much about bands and music, but I have to say that working with someone who's professional and really knows and understands all that is so much better than, you know, talking to the guy who, when I used to work at a venue, who would come in and say, you know, oh, can I plug into your sound system? And that kind of, yeah, you know, they're coming in the day of, you know, the wedding's in 3 hours and they're not really sure how the sound's going to happen. So I think you want to make sure that whoever you're working with does have more of a professional stance.
Experience.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of experience.
Yeah. So here's a question. Is most of the music played through a full song list, or that's made by the couple, or do you give a few recommendations and then you play whatever sort of based on that? How does that work?
So, interestingly enough, I'm also in one of the bands, and it's so fun to sit and work with my couples. We even had some couples into our conference room and office yesterday evening, and we were specifically talking about how we would go throughout the curation process of the music. Every client that books one of our live bands gets a workbook, and in that workbook it outlines what the musical process is like. And in that process, it entails getting a full and complete song list from the band leader. That song list is then reviewed with the band leader and the couple. They are able to mark it up, either say, I absolutely love these songs, please do not play this artist or this style. Perfectly respectable. If they have an aversion to, I don't know, disco,
Right.
then we'll make sure that that's not played. And so what happens in that process is that the couple really creates sort of a frame around the music, while the band leaders and the band, they make the painting, you know? And
Right.
so they're creating some parameters to say, here's what I would like, and then the band leader and the musicians are really able to then sprinkle in the music based on the flow of the event to really make sure it's entertaining, it's eclectic, it's specific to the couple. So the couples never are the ones actually making the set list time by time, because the band leaders do that. They've done
Sure.
And we want them to be a guest.
Yeah.
Right.
If you know what song is coming up next, you're not really fully living in the moment,
Sure.
experiencing what's happening in the room.
Right.
So after that, you know, what you end up getting is a very organic, beautiful experience that is about the couple and the guests at the wedding.
Okay, so Jody's asking, if a couple has a budget for music, will it limit them to a DJ, or could they get a band?
So we try and make something work for every different price point. A lot of times if a couple does have a lower budget, I'll say, well, why don't we try to incorporate some live musicians in with a DJ? So, for example, you know, electric violin, saxophone, percussion are all really fun instruments that can go along with the DJ for really any type of music, whether it's pop or disco or Motown or whatever. And then maybe we'll try to figure out a way to use those musicians again earlier in the night, so that way they're getting the most bang for their buck and they're still experiencing the live component, but still having a crazy dance party and still having that energy.
And we have another person who's asking about Latin music. So do you have bands that play Latin music? Do they sing in Spanish?
So we have multiple bands that are able to sing in Spanish. A few examples, Carte Blanche, one of our boutique bands, can sing in Portuguese, Russian, French, and Italian.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, China.
Yeah.
Alternatively, they have a Latin boogaloo salsa style band called La Pachamambo, male-female vocalists singing in Spanish. Those are more boutique type bands, but we also have dance variety bands that are able to sing in multiple languages. Sound House has a very, very, very strong Latin repertoire. We also have Gen 8 that's able to do that as well out of our West Coast team. And so if someone said, hey, Carrie, Lisa, I really want a few Latin sets mixed into my evening here and there, maybe 15 minutes here, 20 minutes later in the night, we're absolutely going to suggest the bands that we know can do it right and do it extremely well.
Right. Now, this is my question. So if you're, you know, we say the same thing with cake, that, you know, you may love some avant-garde flavor, but you do have 150 people at your wedding. So is it the same with music? I mean, do you try to, you know, if the couple has very, you know, different kind of music taste, do you try to sway them to, you know, incorporate more cover bands or, you know, covered songs?
No,
or
I get what you're saying. You know, yesterday one of the couples that I'm working with, who actually landed on one of our bands called Rhapsody, they were extremely specific about the type of jazz music they wanted, because there's a variety of jazz. There's Sinatra style swing jazz, there's Moody Miles Davis style, you know, Nina Simone, and they said it is very, very important to us that we have subtle, very vibey jazz that's not over the top, and we want it to feel elegant in background. But they did want to dance later, but they were so specific about this exact style, and I said, you know what? This band's repertoire actually overlaps with these songs that you mentioned to me. They have some of the most best, well-versed jazz musicians in the company. And additionally, you're gonna have flexibility later to go into dancing if you want to go that route, because Rhapsody has a jazz and DJ combo. And after checking it out, and even when we were talking on the phone, they said, you know, we're not sure how we feel about the DJ, but let's check out the link on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely loved Rhapsody plus their DJ. And so, you know, I think that we trust our gut, and we never, ever want to say, no, don't be you.
Right.
Let yourself be you, but as Lisa actually said earlier, also don't forget about your guests, and that, you know, 2.5 hours into your reception, they're probably going to want to dance, or I like to say rage, because it's a wedding and you're celebrating.
Sure.
They're going to want to have a rager for that last hour.
Right.
And maybe jazz all night isn't the best fit. So I will be absolutely honest about that, and then it ended up being the perfect fit.
Right. Okay. What somebody's asking about the difference in price between a band and a DJ. I mean, I'm sure that there's a big difference. Some DJs are more pricey, some bands are more pricey. But is there sort of a rule of thumb? Because everyone assumes that a DJ is going to be less expensive than a band. Is that necessarily the case? Is it not necessarily the case?
Well, what you have to think about too is a DJ is one person. A band can be 4 people, 5 people. They've all got to pay their bills and
Sure.
make their money too. So when you think about it kind of in that sense, it's like, okay, well, there are more people, so I have to pay all of these people to do the job.
I think that really, you know, Lisa makes a good point, is if you're, an 18-piece band is going to be higher than a 12-piece band, is going to be higher than a 4-piece jazz band.
Sure.
And just as those bands are different, and some bands are crazy in demand, some aren't as in demand simply because they haven't been on the market as long, but they're just about to be there. And with that changes things as well. We have some of the top DJs in the nation that are going to cost more than the DJ that maybe has been, you know, that's phenomenal, but has been around for 3 years, and they're obviously doing a great job. So these are all things that you do need to consider, that, you know, that band that is flying all around the country and functions typically as a 16-piece is going to be more. So I think within each there's a scale. So obviously with a band, even a 6-piece band, it will cost more than a DJ. Even if we're talking about a smaller band for a 4-hour reception, it will cost more than a DJ. So innately that's gonna sit there. But then DJs with us, you know, can range anywhere between the 2,500 to 6,500 range, depending on who that DJ is.
Sure.
I mean, we also have worked with headliners. We've worked with Diana Ross, we've worked with John Legend and John Mayer, and that again is a whole nother story, and this is for weddings.
Sure, so that's a different category, right?
Yeah. Alicia Keys,
Right.
recently, great.
Yeah, so that's, yeah. And I think that's in anything in your wedding, to be honest. It's the same thing with a cake. And my advice to couples is always to, you know, think about what's important to you. There are some places you can, you know, go less, and some places you can spend more. So really think about that before you start out. Mm-hmm. What do bands wear during a wedding? Yeah, I mean, is there a dress code, or do you ask the couples what they want you to wear, or how does that work?
What's great is actually in our workbook even asks what are the tones of your wedding, the color scheme. Especially if we're working with a designer, often even when we're working with David Beam and his team, it's very specific, and we want to ensure that whatever entertainment is coming into that evening, that it blends and complements what is going on with everything else. So if you're going blushes, creams, peaches, you might not necessarily want the band in black gowns, you know, maybe you want to go more with some of the silvery or gold or champagne tones that we have. We have a full wardrobe with our studio in the back where all of this is kept in-house. So we're able to work with the clients and say, you know, is this a wedding in Hudson Valley? Is this at, you know, is this at Blue Hill at Stone Barns? Do you want to go more with summer sharkskin suit and cream fringe dresses, or is this more black tie? So for us, that is up to the client, planner, and designer. And we work with them in every way that we can, and we have a fabulous wardrobe accessible to all of our talent.
Oh, that's fun. So, do you use lighting or any other special effects like fogging machines or anything like that?
We do not include that with the performance of the band. Obviously, we're happy to participate some kind of accessory like that. But usually those additions are provided by the client.
And again, that plays with, you know, the client or the planner or designer really wanting a specific style or look. What does come with the bands are basic LED washes. So it's a nice, beautiful, soft wash. But if you're wanting spots or hard hands or more of an official stage lighting, those aren't included in the packages.
Sure, and you should probably work with a lighting designer or some venues. We were
That's
just,
very important.
yeah, we were just at Espas, and they have all kinds of lighting happening over there. So I guess the band would work that out with them.
Exactly.
Yep. What about timing? When does your band show up? You know, I've been in events where, you know, we're like, well, it's gonna start soon. Where's the band? So.
Oh gosh. So our sound team usually loads in about 4 to 5 hours prior to event start time, and the band usually arrives about 2 hours prior to start time. So that way they can sound check. The stage will be set for them essentially when they arrive because the sound team's been there for a while, and they can sound check and kind of get ready and be ready to go. And they're set and on stage at least 15 minutes prior to the actual opening of the doors and already playing to, you know, get warm and get in the groove to welcome everyone into the room.
All right.
I mean, they're out of the way by the time guest arrivals begin.
Okay, great. Yeah, you don't want your band, you know, walking in with your guests.
No.
Yeah. Tell me about breaks. So, you know, band isn't, an event is, you know, 5-6 hours, whatever it is. Band can't be playing the whole time. What happens during breaks?
We have a few options, and we really work with our clients to make sure that it works seamlessly with the event flow. Typically, I mean, 99% of our events are continuous live music, meaning you have an 8-piece band or you have a 12-piece band, is that, you know, what happens is there'll be some rotations of the musicians at opportune moments. And when I say opportune moments, of course, when you're dining and you want the volume to be lower, it would behoove everyone to have maybe a 4 or 5-piece group on the stage, or a trio. And that's when those brands will like segue off, but you're still getting that great lounge music and background music. And it's very subtly done, so it is almost not even noticed. Even when speeches are happening, we do keep a musician on stage for filler between speech givers.
Sure.
So that 10 seconds when the next person is coming up, you do have an acoustic guitarist or piano player up there who's filling the air, just to make sure that everything feels so tight and beautiful. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, if someone says, I'm hiring this band because I want a 3-hour dance party, what we do suggest, because of course, if a band is up there for 3 hours straight, sweating and partying and singing, we do need to honor that maybe they need a quick 5-minute drink break somewhere in there. And so what we often suggest, if they want to keep that elevated level of energy, is that rather than do the rotation, is maybe put on an iPod for 10 minutes of high energy music, which we supply the music and the cables for all of that.
Right.
So it's up to their preference, but you know, if it is a straight on dance party that long, we do suggest iPod to keep that level going. Otherwise, we're happy to do continuous live music all night.
And is there a specific time that usually bands play? I mean, is it like, okay, it's a 5-hour band, it's a 6-hour band, it's a 4-hour band?
Receptions are 4 hours. So you've got the ceremony invite time, with the ceremony officially starting about 30 minutes after, so it's an hour window. You have cocktail hour for 1 hour typically, and then our typical contract for a band for a reception is 4 hours. Have we had some contracts that are 5? Absolutely. Have we had some that are 3? Absolutely. Once you go over the 4-hour mark, you are considered in overtime because it is a longer reception. But I've seen that actually happening more and more often these days, where they say, you know what, dinner is going to be 2.5 hours, and I want 2.5 hours of partying later.
Right.
And so we'll do a 5-hour
Okay,
reception.
that's good.
Yeah.
And so, does the band act as an MC, or do you need to get an MC, or how does that work? You know, you talked about speeches. Somebody has to call
Sure,
that.
someone has to kind of orchestrate the evening and kind of guide it. Our band leaders usually MC or one of the frontline vocalists. But I always tell my brides too, like, we will be as involved or as uninvolved as you want us to be. So we're not going to just grab the mic and start making up this whole, you know, different thing that when you ask for. But we will say, do you want to be announced? Do you want the bridal party announced? Do you want us to announce who's coming up to speak before they grab the mic, or should they just start speaking and introduce themselves? So we literally talk about all of these details, right? Like,
it's actually in our workbook that we keep mentioning it. It even lists who will be giving speeches, what is the proper pronunciation of their names, and these are things that we work out with the clients, planners, throughout the course leading up to the wedding. By the time we get there, we even know how the couple prefers to be introduced.
Right.
Do they want first names only? Do they want Mr. and Mr., Mr. and Mrs.?
Right.
It doesn't matter to us as long as we know that they're comfortable with the way we're announcing things as much together as little.
All right, great. So if, let's say you see this band and you love them, you come to one of your showcases and you're really into the band and you like them. Does the band always have the same people in it? Or does, you like the band and then all of a sudden there's, hey, I don't remember seeing that piano player or whatever.
So, like I said earlier, I front one of the bands and we have been the same people for many, 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 many years. If there's a sudden life change for someone and then they are perhaps moving to the West Coast or something, we would always inform our clientele. But that communication is consistent and continual throughout the process. And I have not missed a wedding in 6 years, nor has any vocalist in the elements. We always think that, hey, this just needs to be, I might not have control over whether or not a singer maybe decides to have a child or something and is physically unable to be there. But what we do have control over is having honest and open communication with our clients and also involving them in that process and saying, hey, listen, here's an opportunity for you to be involved in helping us fill that role. Here are the options we have. And all of the talent that we would ever bring in would be just as phenomenal, just as talented, part of the Élan Artist Cooperative, and say, hey, which one do you prefer? And also be able to say, you do have this style of music, maybe she would be a great fit. But that is extremely rare with the hundreds and hundreds of events that we do.
I mean, it is life, so,
Exactly. But we're just like, all right, hey, by the way, and let's make sure that you are still extremely happy with this person that might come in to fulfill one of the 4 vocalist roles.
Yeah, that seems fair to me. Does the band take requests from guests?
That's an interesting one. I'm going to take that one because I'm on a lot of these weddings. Is we work so closely with the clients that they have curated these lists. They've spent time together as a couple with a nice little glass of wine at home, marking up every song. So what happens when we do go into the event is if a guest comes up and they've requested a song that I know the couple has said, I love this music, we'll absolutely say, we will eventually be playing that tonight, noted. But, when we're in the middle of a crazy dance party and maybe someone comes up and requests Moon River.
Right. Uncle Fred.
And it is so not in the mood and tone of what is happening in the excited, wonderful experience that guests are having.
Mm-hmm.
We make educated decisions about saying no, or we delicately say, our couple has worked very hard for the last 6 months to create music that they really wanted to hear, that they think you would enjoy, so we're actually not taking requests from the guests tonight.
Right.
And so it's done in an elegant, smooth way. Guests are always like, oh, I got it. Totally understand. Great, thank you, you guys are great. And then they move on.
Right. So, and it's not their party, it's the couple's party, so you want to make sure you're honoring,
A way of just letting them know that it's not about them.
Right. So now, obviously there's equipment that you're using. You said speakers and sound people and things like that. Is there ever a time where, something goes awry, a speaker blows or the electric goes out? I mean, so now are you prepared for that? How does that, I'd be like stressed out about it all the time.
We, as we were talking about earlier, venues, right? They all change. Maybe it's a tented wedding and they're having to bring power and energy into it. We're very clear from the get in our workbook and in our contracts what our bands or our DJs require in terms of electrical supply. Ours is standard for bands, 3 dedicated 20-amp circuits. What that means is every single one of those amps it's tied into its own source. They're not all connected. That allows for, if something happens, we also have this dedicated amp.
Right.
Or this one that's, available.
Right.
If we know it's an older venue, it's a historic older venue, we do suggest to our clients maybe potentially having a backup generator,
That makes
tied into the
sense.
site somewhere. And you know what? I will also say that, there was one event that my band was on where it was an older historic building, but they could not bring the generator in. It just wasn't possible. And the lights went out. And the power went out for about 5 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
The band continued to play. We had a horn section. We had a beat going.
Right.
We got the crowd involved.
Maybe the crowd probably thought it was supposed to be like that.
And it actually was this amazing moment that was basically a highlight of the evening, because the horns were going, the crowd started clapping, the singer started going a cappella, and then when everything else came back on, it had this wow moment that was it was just unforgettable.
Right.
And a beautiful experience.
Right.
And we work with performers who are professional enough and technical sound engineers who are professional enough to really deal with those sorts of situations with elegance and grace, and for it to be seamless. And again, it is life, and those are extremely rare. But I have confidence that anyone on any of our teams would be able to handle that.
Right.
vibe.
And again, this is important when you're hiring a band, that it's someone professional that can deal with those on-the-spot situations.
And in the 6 years that I'm aware, we've never had any of our equipment go awry.
Right.
It's only ever been a power issue. So it's an important thing
Right.
for our planners and couples to ask at venues
Sure.
is, can you supply this power?
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you, I worked at a venue where the sound sometimes had its mind of its own, so I'm very sensitive to it. So, and one of the questions I was going to ask you is if you ever had anything crazy happen to you. So that's really it is. I'm sure you've had other crazy things happen too. So we're sort of coming to the end now, and at the end I always ask, so what is the one tip, trick, or secret that you want the audience to take away today?
I think it's be honest about how you're feeling and what your dreams are. That the more specific people are about what they want, the better any vendor in this industry is going to be able to fulfill that, and that you're going to be able to have the type of relationship in the process that's going to work. If we're not communicative and put our dreams out there, there's no way that we're going to be able to achieve them, right? So the more our clients are specific about what they want in love and what their expectations are, the more we're going to be able to take the pieces and the beautiful things that we can offer as a company and place them in front of them and say, is this what you're talking about? And then say, oh my God, yes, I'm so excited for my wedding day.
So I guess that also means that it's important for a couple to actually think through what they do want, because it's hard for you to curate something when they're like, I don't know. So it's really before they meet with you, be specific. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. We really appreciate it. We're so excited that you could join us. And next week, we also are going to be having another Facebook Live on Thursday. And we're going to be with JPO Concepts. I'm sure you've worked with them, yes. And they're going to be doing something very cool. They're going to be doing catering trends for every aspect of your wedding celebration. So we're looking forward to that.
Concepts next Thursday, guys.
Yeah, be there.
Shop.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Bye, everyone. Bye.